I love gardening. Edmonton has such a short growing season though, so you really have to make the most of it. Now, look at all of these tomatoes. Oh my gosh. Now, this isn't my garden. I don't want to mislead you. I wish this could be my garden. This is actually part of a community project that has people abuzz. Also today, we're going to be talking about a creative hive that's been around in our city for more than 100 years. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Any idea what else we're talking about? Well, it has to do with this guy, but first, we're going to need to get suited up. I told you we had to get suited up here. Steve, tell me about these bees.
So they've been here for about 2 months now, and they started out with a nucleus, so there's just 5 frames. It's like a starter pack for bees, and it comes with a queen, 2 honey frames, and 3 frames of brood.
Can you open it up and show us what it looks like now?
Yeah, of course. Bo from Kingsway asked me if we could put a hive on the roof, and I said, sure, let's do it. He told me about the garden they have here, and we thought it would be good to help pollinate the garden and just pollinate the area as well.
Yeah, if you want to lift one of those out, can you?
Sure, yeah, we'll try for the queen might be in the middle here, so we'll try to get that frame.
You should be impressed that I'm not freaked out by all of the bees here, but we did smoke them. That's what this is. This is a smoker. So Steve instructed me how to just blow a little bit of smoke on the bees so that it calms them down a bit so he's able to do his work. How many bees do you have? Do you know?
Oh man, they can get up to about 50 to 60,000 in the middle of summer when they're at their highest. And as they get closer to winter, the population will actually shrink, so there's less mouse to feed over winter. I would say maybe in here there's 10 to 20,000.
Wow, look at that. So when you look at this, what are you looking for?
So what we look for is we look for to see if the queen's doing her job. On here we can see we have a lot of eggs, which means she's laying eggs. It's a healthy hive. We look into the comb to see if she's laid eggs in there. And we look for a nice pattern of eggs across the hive. Yeah.
How do bees talk to each other? Like, I feel like, I mean, they know we're here, but, I mean, yeah, how do they communicate with each other?
So they can communicate through pheromones, but they can also communicate through something called the waggle dance, which is they wiggle their butts and do a little dance to communicate where pollen is around the area and sources of water, food, and then the other ones will watch. They'll say, okay, there's a good pollen source 5 kilometers away, and then the other ones will watch and go verify that.
Sorry, can you give me an example of the waggle dance? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh. That's what you did. Can you tell we're doing the waggle dance? That's impressive. How did you get into bees, Steve? Because this is just fascinating. We hear so much about how important bees are.
So I got into it because my grandma and grandpa were gardeners. And then I basically had a friend who just did it, and I went and checked out their hive. And it was really interesting and fascinating. So I took the city's beekeeping course on urban bees, and then just went for it, got some bees and put them in my backyard and learned as I went.
It's so cool to see this. So of course you can have bees in your backyard here in Edmonton, and actually Alberta has one of the biggest populations of beehives in the country. And not too far from here, where is it? Not too far from here, the AMA also has a bee program, and I went to check it out. That looks like Hivey? Oh, maybe there's Bee Arthur in there. There's Bee, and there's Stan. Look at that. Okay, you can name bees through this Adopt a Bee program at the AMA. Jane, who is not one of the adoptees, just want to be clear with that, okay? But you do know a lot about this program. How did the AMA get into raising bees?
It's a bit of a story. AMA's got a really robust corporate responsibility program. We've been involved in food security work for a long time. We've been raising monetary donations and food bank donations for food banks since 2012. But a few years ago, we were like, there's more that we can do to give back and ensure that this province stays strong for our younger generation. And so we started a reforestation effort, and we started planting trees. And as we learned about the importance of naturally biodiverse forests, we learned about the importance of pollinators. And we thought, oh, pollinators, food supply, we need to do something to support pollinators. So we learned over time pollinators have become under threat for a myriad number of reasons, what's going on in the climate, human behavior, pests, etc. And we thought, well, this gives us a great opportunity to get some bees of our own and to talk to our members, open a door, have a conversation about what all nearly a million of us can do, small things, to help protect pollinators and grow a stronger Alberta.
I love bees, and I'm actually glad that it's a little bit breezy up here today and the sun isn't out, because otherwise I think we would be swatting them. But how has the program been going?
It's been going great. People get really energized about these little guys, about these bees. So we rolled out the program. You can adopt a bee for $1, like you said. All the proceeds go to our AMA Community Foundation, and all of the money that goes into the foundation gets reinvested into programming specifically around our corporate pillars. 9,000 of them have been adopted and named. So they're very busy. If you were out here on a sunny day, really they're everywhere. And of course we've got our garden set up over here. So they've got lots of work to do to keep them busy. But there's been lots of energy and enthusiasm from members and non-members. But the most important part has been that people have been opening conversations with us and asking what they can do in their own gardens, in their own yards, in their own behaviors to ensure that we're protecting these pollinators, which ultimately helps to protect the food supply.
And in Alberta, I understand, I think Alberta has one of the highest populations of beehives in the country. To know that they do play such a role in Alberta, that's really good. And again, to teach young people about it too, again, this has been a conversation that's been gaining steam and momentum only over really the past few years.
Yeah. And you're right, it's important everywhere. And so while we have these hives here, we've also got hives all the way around the province. But in our more rural communities, we've got bumblebee boxes because there's all manner of pollinators. And so we also want to not interfere with the delicate balance there. But people are engaged in the conversation. And when I think about, we have nearly 1 million members. If we all were just doing one small thing or just changed one little thing, we could make a huge difference. And so giving people the chance to adopt a bee and name a bee, and when you do it online, get a little certificate, it's a little baby adoption certificate and a little book with, it's wonderful. And people are energized by it, and it gives us an opportunity to have a conversation that perhaps otherwise we wouldn't be able to have. We've got lots of them available, so anybody who's looking for bees, you don't have to stop at one. If you've got 10 names, you can get 10 bees. We've got plenty of them to go around. We've even got a live bee cam, so once you've adopted it, you can watch Beyonce or Bieber or anything any day of the week. Just log onto the camera and you're good.
My gosh, the naming is the best part. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
There you have it. Have it.
Nice.
So just like the rooftop there at AMA, why not use this space and all of this sunshine to grow a garden? Bo, tell me about this garden at Kingsway.
Yeah, we're here in front of the rooftop garden at Kingsway. It's our second year growing produce for the food bank, and so far so good.
Okay, it's really hot out here today. How do you manage to keep the garden going with the heat and with the rooftop conditions too?
Yeah, this was an important lesson we learned last year when a lot of the produce got cooked before we wanted it to get cooked. So we've moved the garden to an area where the ground is a little bit cooler on the stones. We've put it in a more wind protected area so the wind isn't knocking down our tomato plants all the time. And other than that, we just keep a real close eye on it, make sure everything's watered exactly right, and just give it a little extra care.
How much produce are you hoping to harvest this year?
Okay, so we are shooting for 300 pounds. And we planted a lot of tomatoes, which weigh a lot. So we're hoping that we'll hit it this year.
And Tamazin, I'm just curious, when we talk about the food bank, we often talk about non-perishables, but we're talking about perishables here.
Yes, fresh garden food is gratefully accepted at Edmonton's food bank. So if you have a garden, you have some extra, dust off some of that dirt and bring it on in for us. Then we ask for non-perishable at all our events. If you're growing something in your garden you want to donate, that is a beautiful gift for us, and being able to share that with the community.
What about quantities though? And again, as somebody who does not have a green thumb, if somebody has a bunch of carrots, is there a certain volume that you're looking for from people?
Anything. Edmonton's Food Bank, we survive and keep our doors open, can by can, dollar by dollar, carrot by carrot, potato by potato. So if everybody is just contributing what they can, that is good in and of itself. So if you have a huge abundance crop that you want to give, great. If you only have a handful of carrots and potatoes to give, that is beautiful too. So just dust off some of that dirt and bring it on into us, and we'll make sure that gets into a hamper.
Of course, Tamazin touched on something that's really important in the Edmonton community, and it's about giving back and coming together as a community. And there is a program in our city that has been around for more than 100 years. We're gonna take me back to my childhood. We're going to the Green Shacks.
A horse is kind of hard. You're not wrong. That's quite difficult.
Hello, my name is Dilla Juma. I am a program coordinator for the State of Edmonton Southwest Green Shack programs. For those of you who don't know, the Green Shack program is a long-standing tradition of Edmonton. It's a program for kids 6 to 12 years old. It's free, and we focus on recreation here in Edmonton. What we do here is kids can come and go as they please. They don't have to sign up ahead of time. They come, say hello to our leader who's wearing a lovely blue shirt, and we do our best to lead them in recreation throughout the entire day. We offer plenty of programs like playground games, wide games. We go out in the field as much as we can. We do crafts. We love to play little drama games and things like that. The idea is to get kids involved and active and be socializing with their peers as much as they can.
So the Green Shack program has been around in some capacity since the 1920s, as far as I'm aware. In its current iteration, it's been around since like the 50s, and we started with like I think 12 Green Shacks and moved up to now 242. So been around for many, many years. We took a year off, obviously during COVID. That was quite sad, and we got lots of feedback from everyone saying like we want that back as soon as possible. It's very clear that everyone who comes to the Green Shack falls in love with it. There aren't many people who come to the Green Shack and go, oh, this isn't for me, and leave. Typically, people who don't know about it obviously don't know about it, but once you find out about it and start spending time at the shacks, being with the leaders and being with your peers, it really just reinforces that sense of community. A lot of our kids that come to our program don't have access to things like daycares and things like that. They've got, I guess there's a need for this kind of program, but our program only runs for 8 weeks out of the entire year. So ideally, what I'd love to do is have a warm handoff at the end of the summer where we tell them, okay, our program's gonna close, I'm so sorry, but throughout the rest of the year, here's some other things you can do that are gonna be amazing as well too throughout the entire city.
Oh, it takes me back to my childhood, the Green Shacks in Greenfield. You know, this city has so much to offer during these few months. The summer is so short, but we're going to do our best to bring you everything that's happening in the city. Enjoy the rest of these sunny days.